They cut me out of the family, but not my wallet. Betrayed, excluded, and stolen from. Now he's taking everything back. They called me foolish. They planned the trip without me. My mother tossed the Greece vacation photos at me, her voice laced with exasperation. So, sort it out yourselves, I shot back, as I reclaimed $7,000, secured all my accounts, and reported the unauthorized loan attempt. I'm Ethan, 30, and it seems I'm the only one in my family who still values honesty and integrity. I work in IT support, always on call, juggling work dashboards and personal life. For 5 years, I've lived in the same small apartment, a half-hour drive from my parents' house. I've been their go-to fix-it guy, resetting their internet, repairing the buzzing fridge, or sending quick PayPal transfers to keep their lights on. I never grumbled, not seriously. I thought that's what families do, lift each other up. That belief crumbled over one Sunday dinner. Roasted chicken, mismatched plates, and the faint smell of bleach from Mom's hurried cleaning. I sat with my parents, my brother Nate, Aunt Clara, and a few cousins. The table was chaotic, voices overlapping, and I forced a smile because that's what's expected. I'd been working overtime all week, barely resting, but I was excited about one thing: our family trip to Greece. I'd contributed $3,000 for flights, accommodations, and the van Dad swore was better than taxis. Mom had called it a chance to bond, like old times. When the noise quieted, I leaned in, grinning, and said, "I can't wait for Greece next week. I've been counting down." The room fell silent, not the teasing kind before a joke, but a thick, stifling hush. Nate smirked, nudging his girlfriend as if I'd said something ridiculous. "You're joking, right?" he said. "We got back 3 days ago." I froze. "What?" Mom set her fork down gently. "Sweetheart," she said softly, "nothing more." Aunt Clara, eager to cut the tension, pulled out her phone. "The pictures are stunning," she said, scrolling quickly, acting like everything was normal. She turned her screen toward me. There they were, my entire family on a cliff in Greece, beaming. My parents, Nate, his girlfriend, Aunt Clara, Uncle Mark, even the cousins who'd said they were tied up with school. Everyone was there. Except me. I sat, pulse pounding, trying to make sense of it. I recalled the last group chat message from 2 weeks ago, Mom saying, "Still working on dates, will update soon." I'd checked in twice, no reply. I figured they were just busy. I pushed my chair back and stood. No one stopped me. No one spoke except Nate muttering, "Such a drama queen," as I left. I drove home, still in my collared shirt, and sat on my bed, staring at the wall. At first, I wasn't even angry, just numb. Have you ever realized the people you thought supported you had already moved on without you? That's what it felt like. I kept replaying the little moments. Mom promising to share the itinerary, Dad calling me the dependable one when he needed my car for the deposit, Nate dodging my questions about the trip, saying Mom's got it covered. I didn't shout or cry. I just sat, letting the quiet settle like dust. The next day, I checked my accounts. I hadn't noticed how much I'd been covering: 2 months of Nate's rent, a new microwave for my parents, weekly grocery runs, at least $200 each time, all those "I'll pay you back" promises that became family punchlines. That's when it sank in. I'd been the one keeping them afloat, and they didn't even think I deserved a plane ticket. I called in sick to work on Monday, not with a cold, but because my head was spinning. I started a spreadsheet, tracking every dollar I'd spent, every account tied to my name. The shared Netflix plan, the family phone plan, even the car insurance I helped cover to cut costs. Then I began untangling myself. By Tuesday, the Netflix account was locked. By Thursday, I separated my phone line, let the rest expire. The car insurance? Canceled. I sent them a heads-up text. No one responded. I closed the emergency savings account I'd opened for Mom's knee surgery. $6,500, all mine again. I froze my PayPal and Venmo to stop those casual "can you spot me" requests. No one reached out. The only call came Saturday morning. Mom, I didn't answer. She left no voicemail. The next family dinner came and I didn't go. I stopped the usual grocery deliveries too. Then, a week later, Nate showed up at my door. I saw him through the peephole, that smug grin like he had everything handled. "Dude," he said when I opened the door, "you're blowing this way out of proportion. It was a last-minute thing. We didn't think you could come." I stared at him. "You told me the trip was next week," I said. "I paid for it." He rolled his eyes. "You've got a solid job, you never go anywhere. Why act like we betrayed you?" I didn't answer. He sighed. "Whatever, Mom's freaking out. She says you're being cruel. Just come over, eat some chicken, and let's pretend it didn't happen like normal families do." Something clicked inside me, not rage, but a calm, sharp clarity. I didn't raise my voice. I just said, "Tell her I'm busy." Like you all were when you boarded that plane. Then I closed the door in his face. The next day, my phone buzzed with texts. Mom sent a long one full of fake concern. We didn't want to burden you, you've seemed so exhausted. We thought you'd want a break. Then Dad, firm as always. Someone had to stay back in case things went wrong. We needed someone reliable. That made me laugh bitterly, like I'd chosen to be their fallback while they lounged by the ocean. Aunt Clara chimed in on the group chat. We thought you knew, Ethan. It was just a mix-up. Don't make it a big deal. I didn't reply. Instead, I went through every account, every subscription, every payment I'd taken on. My name was still on the backup credit card my parents used for emergencies like doctor visits. I was the cosigner on Nate's truck loan, the one he wrecked and left me to deal with, saying, "You're good with paperwork, right?" I'd been the fixer, the safety net, the one they relied on without a second thought. That night, I opened my safe. Inside were receipts, old checks, emails about reservations, screenshots of unpaid bills. I created a new Google Drive folder called Family Records. I uploaded everything, dates, amounts, broken promises. It wasn't about revenge, not yet. It was about proving to myself I wasn't imagining things, no matter how Mom tried to twist it when things got messy. A few days later, someone knocked. I didn't answer. Through the peephole, I saw Mom holding a takeout bag like a peace offering. Her shoulders slumped, maybe from guilt, maybe just for show. She knocked again, waited 5 minutes, then left. I didn't move until I heard the elevator. That night, something else happened. I logged into the old banking app I'd set up to help with my parents' bills during a tough time. There was $7,000 still in it. They hadn't closed it, probably thinking I wouldn't notice the small withdrawals. $60 here, $100 there, always excused as household expenses. I transferred every cent to a new account in my name and closed the old one. Minutes later, Dad called. I didn't pick up. His voicemail was curt. "Ethan, what's going on with the account? Your mom tried paying the electric bill and it bounced. This is too far, call me." But I didn't. Not that night, not the next day, not the next week. The silence grew heavier. I didn't block them, but I stopped responding. No calls, no texts, no showing up for dinners. My fridge was stocked with food I chose. My calendar was clear, no more "can you fix this" or "can you drive me" messages. I reclaimed my time, my space. Then came the moment that proved they hadn't changed. I got an alert from my credit monitoring service. A new inquiry on my name, from the same travel agency they used for the Greece trip. At first I thought it was an error, but then I saw the email. Nate had accidentally CC'd me on a thread with the agency, asking if they could book another trip like last time and charge it to the same card Ethan used. The nerve. My chest tightened, not with sadness but with a stark realization. They weren't sorry. They just missed the convenience of me, the one who paid, who fixed things, who absorbed their mistakes. I reported the charge as unauthorized, called the agency, and made it clear that card was off limits. I froze it, ordered a new one. Then I logged into a private Google account and uploaded the family records folder to a secure link. I started drafting an email to every family member. No yelling, no insults, just facts, dates, payments, lies, the burden I'd carried, the betrayal. No emotion, just a mirror they couldn't avoid. But I didn't send it. Not yet. I wanted them to feel the weight of my absence a little longer, to notice the lack of my help. Then my phone rang. Aunt Clara, not a text, a call. I hesitated but answered. "Ethan," she said, voice shaky. "You need to know what your mom did." I didn't speak. "She applied for a loan in your name." I closed my eyes. The storm had arrived and I was ready to face it. I stayed silent for a full 10 seconds after Aunt Clara's bombshell. My mind scrambled to process it, like a signal breaking through noise. My own mother had tried to take out a loan using my identity. Not by talking to me, not by explaining, but by sneaking behind my back, likely using personal info I'd trusted her with years ago. "How did you find out?" I asked, my voice calm, almost distant. "She asked me to caution," Clara said, her tone unsteady. "Said it was for a family emergency, that you knew that your credit wasn't enough for a loan, something about consolidating debts. It felt wrong, too rushed. I called the bank myself. I paced my apartment, trying to stay grounded. She actually went to a bank and did this?" I asked, needing confirmation. "She did," Clara said quietly. "When I pressed her, she got defensive, told me to stay out of it, said I was causing trouble. That's when I knew something was off. Then I remembered you weren't on that Greece trip. I had to tell you." My stomach twisted. "Thanks for letting me know," I said evenly. "I should have called sooner," she whispered. "You didn't deserve this." We hung up. I stared at my phone until the screen went dark, then opened the family records folder and added a new section. Fraud attempts. I noted the date, Clara's name, her exact words. Then I started a new document, a detailed timeline, every loan, every payment, every broken promise. I attached screenshots of PayPal transfers, Venmo logs, bank statements. I had proof of everything, but it wasn't just about money anymore. It was about my mother, the woman who'd read me bedtime stories, who'd called me the family's anchor, betraying me and expecting me to keep showing up with a smile. That night I made 2 calls, one to my bank, one to a college friend, now a lawyer specializing in identity theft. I gave him the short version. "This happens more than you'd think," he said calmly. "When your finances are tied to family, they start seeing your money as theirs. You're doing the right thing, keep every record." I nodded, though he couldn't see. "I've got it all documented," I said. "Good," he replied, "don't stop." The next morning I woke to 15 messages. Mom's came first. "Why did Clara call you? You're not getting the whole story. It was temporary. We were going to tell you soon. Please don't make this worse. You're hurting us." Then Nate. "You're blowing this out of proportion again, always playing the victim. Fix it and stop acting like you're the only one wronged. You're embarrassing Mom." Dad's was an email subject, "Let's be mature." "Ethan, we know you're upset, but this drama isn't necessary. Families hit rough patches, mistakes happen. You've always been the reliable one, don't ruin that. Call your mom, she's upset. Let's handle this quietly like always. Love, Dad." The same old script, guilt, excuses, expecting me to fall in line. But I was done. I went back to my draft email, the one with every detail, and added a line at the top in bold. "This is the truth. I'm done. I didn't send it yet." Then a call came from an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but answered. "Ethan, this is Lauren from Summit Financial," a steady voice said. "We're confirming a dispute you filed about a loan application in your name." I exhaled slowly. "Yes, I filed it." A pause. "Thank you. We've flagged the application for review and blocked further activity on your credit. The applicant listed your number as the Costner contact, so you'll be notified if another attempt is made." "Was she the applicant?" I asked. A hesitation. "I can't disclose names yet, but you did the right thing." I thanked her and hung up. It was clear they thought they'd slip through again, but I had proof and I was ready to act. I didn't wait. I opened the draft email, revised it. Still calm, direct, final. I added everyone: parents, Nate, Clara, Mark, the cousins who'd smiled in those Greece photos knowing I was excluded. I CC'd my lawyer, BCC'd myself, and linked the family records folder. At the bottom I wrote, "This isn't about money. It's about respect, which I never got from you even after giving everything. Do not contact me except through legal channels." I hit send. The fallout was instant. My phone buzzed relentlessly, calls, texts, notifications. I muted it. Later, I checked voicemails, 10 messages. Mom's first 3. "Ethan, please, let's talk. This isn't how families work." Then, "You're letting Clara twist your mind. She's against us." Finally, her voice cracking. "I didn't mean to hurt you. Don't abandon us." Nate's went from smug to desperate. "You're freaking out over a trip. Get over it." Then, "You're selfish, always have been." And finally, "Fine, tell me how to fix it." Dad's was short, measured. "I underestimated you, but bridges don't rebuild themselves." That night, I changed my number. I told my lawyer to send a cease and desist letter, blocking any further attempts to access my finances or information. He helped me enroll in identity protection and freeze my credit at all 3 bureaus. I filed a fraud report with the FTC and sent a statement to the bank. Mom had used my social security number, likely from an old tax form I'd left at their house. It was identity theft, no excuses, and there'd be consequences. 3 weeks later, my lawyer sent an update. The bank rejected the loan and opened a fraud investigation. If my evidence held, which it would, they could face fines, a civil suit, or even criminal charges. I felt no guilt. They'd counted on my silence, my loyalty. But love without respect is just duty, and I was done with that. Aunt Clara called a week later, her voice weary but lighter. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I should have spoken up sooner. I was scared of causing a rift. You did the right thing." I told her she didn't need to apologize. I just wanted honesty. She promised to stay in touch, but I didn't hold my breath. That family always played the same game. Keep up appearances, protect the status quo, pretend everything's fine. I moved soon after. New apartment, new job across town, better pay, new zip code, fresh start. Only a few trusted friends got my new address, eventually Clara too. The air felt lighter, like I'd stepped out from under a burden I hadn't realized I was carrying. The quiet was perfect. No calls about broken appliances, no urgent cash requests, no half-hearted dinner invites. Just peace. But I didn't vanish. I made sure they felt my absence. 3 months later, an email came from Nate. Subject: Family Records folder. "Ethan, we got the legal notice. Things are bad, mom's a mess, dad's furious they might lose the house. The loan was for refinancing. Now their credit's ruined and we're stuck. Hope you're happy. I read it twice, then replied with 6 words. You said I wasn't invited. Goodbye. No more calls, no more emails, no more half-hearted apologies, just silence. And in that silence, I found something I'd never had while carrying their burdens. Freedom. Not the kind you boast about or document, but the kind that settles deep in your bones. The kind that tells you you're not overreacting, not bitter, not broken, just done. And now they're the ones who have to live with it, not me. So what are your thoughts on this story? Do you agree with Ethan's actions, or do you see it differently? Share your perspective in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on our upcoming stories. See you in the next one.